Hi, I'm Richard Keegan and I'm Assistant Professor here at the University of Canberra in Sport and Exercise Psychology. I teach units on motor control and sport performance psychology, as well as teaching into our new master's course on high performance sport. Physical literacy, what does that mean? Well, imagine the world of learning that's opened up to you when you become book literate and you can choose which books you read and explore entire new worlds through being book literate. The same applies to physical literacy, where you can choose which environments you wish to explore and what you wish to do and how you wish to interact with the world in the physical sense. Like reading, physical literacy is meant to be good for you and it encourages a more productive lifestyle. But it's before the fitness and before the other outcomes that we often talk about. So it's not the bit where you're being active in a gym in a leotard, being shouted at by a personal trainer. It's way before that, and it's also much more movement context, so using the stairs rather than the lift, doing a bit of gardening, choosing to walk an extra bus stop. Anything where you're simply being more active and moving more is physical activity, and to achieve that we want you to be physically literate first. Inactivity, sedentary lifestyles cost the Australian economy an enormous amount of money, $13.8 billion a year. And the reason for that is that just over half of Australian adults aren't getting enough physical activity. And that's the Australian Bureau of Statistics, not me talking. The trend is similar in children. So in 2007, the last survey we did, 69% of children between 2 and 16 managed to get enough activity to achieve health outcomes, to stay healthy. Most worryingly of all, that drops off with age. Between 9 and 13, 80% of boys and 71% of girls meet the criteria for being sufficiently active. And then once we hit 14 through 16, it's only 64% of boys, 51% of girls, and it just keeps dropping as we approach adulthood and people become less and less active, and then later on in life they become more and more ill. What does it really add up to? How do we get to nearly $14 billion? Well, if you add up the costs of healthcare and insurance, lost productivity in the workplace, and then of course premature deaths and the payouts from that, that's where it all comes from. And it's $14 billion per year, every year. As risk factors go for becoming ill, sedentary lifestyles are the fourth highest risk factor, behind obesity, smoking and high blood pressure, separately. What that means is you can be skinny and inactive and still become ill. And that's an important point. We want to try and produce the first generation of children who haven't been told that sitting still is good. Instead, we want to try and produce kids who stay with that instinct to move and be active and have fun and play. We want kids to feel the joy of interacting successfully with the world around them and not be fearful of picking up a ball or breaking out into a run. And so by not stifling that instinct that all kids seem to have to play, we feel that we might be onto something. So if we educate our children physically in physical education, we should produce physical literacy, and that then leads to a lifestyle of being active or sporty or whatever. We don't want PE to produce future world champions. We don't want PE necessarily to be doing all the work of making people physically fit. Those things can happen afterwards when you've fallen in love with moving. That's the outcome for our research over the next couple of years, and that's what we're currently working hard on.